What is good? What is good? What is good, guys? Today we are going to be talking about this little fella right here. And don't be fooled by its small size. This thing packs quite the punch. We're going to talk about the Fujifilm X100V. Let's get started. Don't look at my pimple. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Iamtongue, and today I want to talk about the Fujifilm X100V, give you my thoughts and experience with this camera. Now owning this camera for close to 5 months now. This thing has the same sensor as the X-T3 and the X-T4, so the image quality is the same and the image processing is the same. Everything under the hood, except for the video spec, are identical. What is different is the shooting experience and obviously the appearance of this camera. I'm going to be talking about my experiences and how I used it. The reason why I purchased this camera is because I used to own the Ricoh GR2 and I missed that compact, pocketable camera, the everyday carrying camera. I know because of the Ricoh, I was able to shoot more. I was excited to go out and capture the world. So I wanted to see if the X100V would do the same for me. The X100V is so small compared to my X-T4 with the lenses attached. And when I have both camera in my kit, I tend to lean towards the X100V. It's been really fun shooting with this thing. It feels great in the hands. It doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel like work. The Fujifilm X-T4 is starting to feel like a chore because of its bigger size. I've been shooting with the X-T4 with the 50mm f1 or the 90mm f2, and with those lens comboed with the X-T4, it gets big right away, and sometimes it just becomes annoying to carry around when I'm walking around town. Put it into perspective, the X100V is shorter than my Samsung Galaxy smartphone, making it quite compact. You can put it in your coat pockets or your hoodie pockets, those pockets where you put in the hoodies. Kangaroo pockets. I've taken this X100V out to a few portrait shoots. I also went around the city a few times and took photos with it. I shot some behind the scene photos with this during the Neon Demon shoot, and if you haven't seen that photo shoot, you can watch it here. But again, yeah, I like the feeling it gives me when I hold it and shoot with this thing. Oh yeah, get some of that. How tiny this thing is. So I thought to differentiate this camera from my X-T4 and my X-T3, I would try to shoot JPEG only with the X100V. I don't want to come home and add more space onto my hard drive. Don't worry guys, I'm also shooting RAW just in case I need the latitude to fix things in post afterwards. But for the most part, I've been using this to shoot JPEG only, dabbling with different types of film recipes created by Richie Roche on FujiXweekly.com. It's been an awesome experience. I did a photo shoot entirely in the Portra 400 film recipe with Bria, so if you want to check that out, you can watch that here somewhere. And combine the size of the camera with the sensor and the new redesigned 23mm f2 lens. It's been a joy to use and it looks fucking amazing. I set it and I forget about it. I don't have to worry about post-processing, and the feeling of letting go of that control. It's quite fun and liberating for me. It makes me feel free. I don't have to stress about transferring those RAWs over. I don't have to waste storage space, and I don't have to waste time sitting, creating the looks that I want. What I get straight out of the camera is probably better than what I can do when it comes to the colors or the mood that the images bring forth. It's been spectacular to use. Let's talk about the redesigned lens. So if you guys saw my 23mm f1.4 review, you would know that I had reservation about this focal length. And that's another reason why I sold my X100F away. I really didn't like that focal length. But something about the 23mm f1.4 made me give this focal length another chance. And now I love this focal length and I love this new redesigned lens. I do see an improvement from this camera compared to the X100F. Back when I shot with the X100F, I find that shooting wide open at f2 was quite soft. But again, Fujifilm listened to the feedback and fixed that problem. It is sharper at f2 than ever before. I sometimes find it to be too sharp for my taste, especially stopping it down to like f2.8. There was this one time I looked through my images, zoomed in at 100%, and I was just so confused by how sharp the portrait was. I saw a lot of details in the person's face, and I thought, was this shot at like f4 or f5.6? I had to look at my data, and I realized that it was shot with the X100V, and it was shot around f2.8. And then I was like, damn, this lens is so damn sharp. I was just mind blown. Like, gone are those soft, wide open shots from the X100 series. Continuing on with the redesigned lens, did you guys know that the minimum focusing distance has greatly improved as well? This thing can get in real close, like really, really close. Like this close. Or this close. Don't look at it. Don't look at my pimple. But seriously though, I think the minimum focusing distance is comparable to the 16mm f1.4. You know how much I love that lens, and it's close focusing. This is amazing for me when I take portraits. I sometimes feel so awkward getting in so close with the X100V, but damn, I feel those are some of the most interesting shots for me. It feels intimate, it feels close, and I feel more connected to the image. Getting in close means you can get some good bokeh at f2. It blurs the background out quite beautifully, so if you guys like shooting this thing real close, this new lens does it. Another thing I love is how quick and snappy this camera is. Being that it shares the same sensor as the X-T4, I shouldn't be so surprised, but for some reason I feel that it's a bit quicker than the X-T4. I think that this has also to do something with the updated lens in the X100V. The autofocusing is quick, the shutter is a leaf shutter, it's damn near silent, it's discreet, making this a great user experience. So you can see why so many street shooters prefer the X100 series than the X series from Fujifilm. Let's talk about the video specs. So when you think of the X100V, you think of photography first, but what I really like is using this camera for videos. This thing shoots 4K 30 with f-log at 8-bit, 120 frames per second at 1080. That's friggin' nuts for a camera of this size. I was shooting some test footage with this camera, and I just love shooting this straight out of camera with the classic chrome film simulation. The image quality looks amazing, the colors look great, and the 4K was just so good. I was just definitely blown away by how good it looked. And I also forgot the built-in ND filter can finally be used for video now. That is so clutch, man. 2 stops ND filter certainly helps. So thanks again to Fujifilm for listening to their customers and providing us with this firmware update. I also forgot to mention that the new LCD screen flips out a bit. I know I've been shooting this thing for 5 months, and I forgot that the camera did that until probably like a week ago. The old X100F didn't have this feature, and being that the X100V is almost the same size as X100F, I was thinking, how did they make the screen fit that same mold? It doesn't protrude out, or it doesn't get much bigger than the X100F. Fujifilm has figured out a way to carve this tilt screen into its design, which is pretty cool. And the weather sealing, we finally have it in the X100V. In order to get the weather sealing, you must add this adapter on. This will seal up the lens and stop any rain, snow, dust from coming in. If you look on Amazon, you can find adapters, filters that can help weather seal your X100V. Another thing I like is the low light performances. It's amazing. When I was shooting at night with some of my friends, I was so surprised by the JPEGs. I don't know what kind of special sauce they're putting in this camera, but I was getting surprisingly clean shots at ISO 6400. Just take a look at some of these shots straight out of the camera. This one blew my mind. I was reviewing it and I came to the conclusion that I would feel so comfortable shooting this thing at ISO 64. The noise looks like film grain, so I dig it. With all the stuff that I do like, and I was mentioning before, let's talk about things that I don't like about this camera. I think the removal of the D-pad. I'm so used to the X-T4 having the D-pads. It makes it easier because of the customizable buttons that I heavily rely on. It's really annoying to navigate on this camera. There are touchscreen gestures. If you swipe up, left, down, or right on the LCD screen, that you get the same thing as the D-pad. But I feel the D-pad makes it more convenient. Another thing is I kind of wish this camera has a bigger mic jack. It's not the same mic jack you find in the X-T3 or the X-T4. This has a smaller jack in it. I would have loved to use my Rode video mic with this, but I need to buy a converter to be able to use it. And another thing is the aperture ring. The aperture ring and the focusing ring is kind of short. I don't have a good hold on it. Whenever I try to stop it down, I wish it was a bit thicker, or do what the Leica Q does and have that little aperture handle at the bottom so I can grab it right away. This is probably one of my least favorite thing about this camera. It doesn't feel right to hold. It's awkward. Fujifilm, if you're listening, can you fix this somehow? Make it a little bit thicker or something so I can have something to grab, pause. Another thing is the 10-minute time limit on 4K video recording and 15-minute on full HD. I wish it was a bit longer like the X-T4, which was 30 minutes, but if you want to record some footage in a pinch, I think it's adequate. Another thing is the IBIS, or the lack of IBIS. Is there any way this camera can get IBIS in the future? I would love some sort of stabilization. The Ricoh GR3 is much smaller than this, and they managed to fit a 3-axis image stabilization. That could help tremendously. I consider myself to be a low light shooter. Shooting at night is what I like to do. And you know, when I'm shooting raw, I would like to count on IBIS, and IBIS can help shooting video as well. My hands are so shaky. IBIS can take some of that micro jitters away and can take this camera to the next level. So if Ricoh can do it, so can you, Fuji. But with all that said and done, I still think this is an awesome camera. It's a beautiful looking camera. It's quite premium, and it's in a class of the likes of the Leica Q. I don't think there are cameras out there that is a rangefinder fixed lens camera aside from the X100 series and the Leica Q. So Fujifilm has positioned themselves nicely. The image quality is stunning, blazing quick. For its size, packs quite the punch, and it's what I like to call a pocket rocket. Please don't get this camera if you're thinking of doing video on it. Sure, the F-Log is great, but it's only at 8-bit. 10-minute time limit recording is a drag. This is more for a B cam, maybe a C cam. At its core, it's a photography camera first with great video capabilities in short bursts. So if you travel a lot, I think this could be a great option. You don't have to worry about lens options. You can keep your kit small. You can keep it on you all the time. It's smaller than the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So take that in for a second, man. Like, that is just mind-blowing. So if you're someone with the money to spend, that likes the best pocket camera money can buy, that likes that 35mm full frame equivalent field of view, I think this camera is it, man. Like, street photographers, content creators, enthusiasts, folks that want to document their life, someone that doesn't mind a fixed lens cameras, man, like, this camera is for you. Totally enjoyed my time with this. It's been great to use. Like, it's great for portraits. I love this lens. I love documenting my life with this lens, taking pictures of everyday things, the mundane things, the exciting things, just things in general. You can shoot a lot of things with this camera, so I'm sure you guys won't be disappointed with this camera. So yeah, what do you guys think of this camera? Do you guys own it? Do you guys love it? What are your thoughts of this camera? You guys share the same sentiments as I do? I would like to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to follow me on my social media platform. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok at Iamtongue. Okay, that is it for me, guys. My name is Tongue. I'll see you in the next video. I love you. Okay, bye.